What is up, guys? Hello and welcome on board. My name is Cameron, and today I'm going to be doing a first YouTube tutorial based upon the Airbus A320 Neo. We're currently parked up at Sabiha Gökçen Airport, which is in Istanbul on the Asian side. And first of all, I'm going to be talking about the aircraft's facts and figures, and then I'm also going to demonstrate and teach you guys how to start up the aircraft in a cold and dark state. So, without further ado, the fuselage of the A320 is 37.6 meters long, with a height from the wheelbase to the top of the tail is 11.76 meters, with a wingspan of 35.8 meters, and it has a range of 3,400 nautical miles on full tanks, or in other words, 6,300 kilometers. The maximum zero fuel mass for this aircraft is 64.3 tons. The maximum takeoff mass is 79 tons, and the maximum landing mass is 67.4 tons. This aircraft is also ETOPS certified, so it is certified for 120 minutes. So, for example, you can fly from Shannon, which is in Ireland, and fly all the way to New York JFK via ETOPS routes, of course, within the 120-minute diversion region. Without further ado, let's jump into the cockpit. So, this is the Airbus A320 cockpit. We can see that the aircraft is pretty much, rest in peace. It's dead. There's no life. There's no, it's not alive. So, what we need to do first is we need to jump to the overhead panel and enable the external power. Now, making sure that everything is working fine, what we're going to be doing now is we're going to check for the batteries, turn them on. Now we're supplying 28 volts here, which is good. That's what we need as well. And even if we do turn them off as well, it will drop 27, 26. So we're still within the limits, which is fine. Now obviously we're not going to turn the fuel pumps on because the aircraft needs refueling. So normally on the before start checklist, the fuel pumps will be on anyway. Okay, now we're going to start in terms of the flows. We're going to start from the left column, working our way downwards. Then we're going to start from the middle panel, working our way downwards, and then the left, working our way downwards. Okay, so we're going to make sure that the navs, the ADs, are on nav as follows. Flight controls, they're all fine, looking good. Put that up there. Emergency electrical power, don't need it. GPWS, the ground proximity warning system, so terrain, GPS, everything else, so we'll keep it all on. Ground control, you can turn it on or off, so it's mainly received to auto. We need cruise supply, we need oxygen you need to breathe, or else you're gonna die. When you pass 8,000 feet, the oxygen levels will start to deplete and obviously it'll be a bit harder to breathe. But between 8 to 12,000 feet, roughly speaking. Okay, now this part is looking good. Now let's move on to the middle panel. So we need to test the engines first. Fire. So engine 1 is checked, and then number 2. And now let's check the APU. If that can work. Come on, there you go. Now the APU is also, APU fire system is checked. Now we can also actually start the APU now because the fire's been checked. Obviously for Airbus rules and regs you have to wait for 3 seconds. You switch on the master switch, count to 3, and then press this button here to activate the APU. Now So the fire test has all been checked. The fuel pumps can stay off for now. Now we're looking at the electrical system here. The bats are on. Looking at 28 volts, which is good. APU gen is off, but we need to keep APU gen on because that's how we're going to get the electricity supplied from the APU to the batteries as well, and also to power up the aircraft. Right, cool. Now look at the conditioning section. Looking at packs normal. That's all looking fine. Obviously, there are some certain rules and regs for the amount of passengers to be in the cockpit. Cockpit cabin. That's it. Passengers to be in the cabin, so therefore the pack flow will be adjusted according to the number of passengers within the cabin. Okay, now this is all looking fine. I'm going to touch that. Bleeds are all looking on, because if I press that, it'll be off. There you go. If I press that off, it'll be gone. Okay, cool, that's fine. APU bleed, let's keep that on. So the APU bleed will allow the air to be drawn in, and so that we can have a good engine start as well. Now, let's look at the aircraft lights. So in terms of cockpit flows, we're looking at nav lights on and seat belts, no smoke inside, and emergency exits. Emergency exit lights to be armed. Now the reason why we turn on the nav and logo lights whilst we are at the apron, it's so that people, ground crew, anyone that can be aware that the aircraft is live and that it is in operation. So basically the overhead panel is done now, so it's going to literally turn up the brightnesses and all that stuff. Do that brightness there, get that brightness up here, get that brightness up here as well, and then we can do the other brightness up here, and as well as the brightness up here. Cool. Now, as you can see, and then from here, obviously we're going to check the that lower pedestal here. First of all, make sure parking brake is on, landing gear is levers down, unlocked. The master switches are set to normal and off as well. We'll set ATC, the TCAS, all that stuff. TCAS, well, yeah, we'll set all of that stuff. Yeah, there you go. Got TARA. That's it. Traffic advisory and resolution advisory as well. That will be set to on, but we're not going to turn that on because that will be done before we take off, just so we can see some traffic around there. Obviously, we turn the predicted wind shear to auto. However, the ground clutter should be kept off. It's not to, but oh well, we move. So we need to make sure that ground clutter is off, just to prevent some frequency noise and to get misread information from getting weather data. Okay, everything's looking good so far. I don't know why is the flaps all the way up. Fair enough. Okay. Make sure your doors are nice and locked. There you go. So everything is checked. It's all good. And basically, the aircraft is ready to go. The only last thing you need to input is the FMC. This is the FMC is Boeing. I don't like Boeing, so we're going to go for Airbus instead. This is the MCDU menu, and obviously this is the FMGC. FMC is for Boeing. That's right. FMGC is Airbus. There you go. We're going to confirm that the engine leap is 1A26, as we know that these are the new engine option type aircraft with this new engine, of course. That's all checked and confirmed. Looking at the init ref, so basically this is your initial reference page. What we're going to do is, so it's from to. Now obviously we're going to be at we're at Istanbul, So therefore Istanbul's Sabiha Gökçen. So the ICAO code is LTFJ Lima Tango Foxtrot Juliet, and then we're gonna be, I don't know, so let's pick a place to fly. Alright, I'll say Ankara. Let's go to Ankara. So Lima Tango Alpha Charlie. So this is what the layout looks like. This is what it needs to be. And you simply pop it in there. Well, apparently it's not in there, but we'll do that again. LTFJ LTAC. There you go. Bloody hell. Right, fine. Now, obviously we're here. IRS is now being aligned, and we are good to go. So, now flight number with Pegasus. Just make sure I make something up. PCU 180. Blah blah blah. Now we'll look at about cruising at flight level 300. That's a short flight, and then the cost level is set quite a medium cost rate for fuel burn, so we'll put 40 in it. Now obviously it depends on the company's policy for operating a cost at a certain cost index. Now we want to confirm that the IRS is also aligned. Now you can see it's all in the green, so it's all been aligned. There's an IRS 1 aligned on GPS, 2 aligned on GPS, and 3 aligned on GPS. Now we do in it. Okay, so first of all, we would like to go here, this page, and we're looking at the zero fuel weight and the zero fuel weight center of gravity. Obviously, we can see that the block fuel is 952, so we're just going to put 9.5. Just put that there, can't put 2 anyway, so 9.5 to round it down. Now, if you press this button here, you can get the performance page lined up here. So we're looking at a zero fuel weight, which is literally as stated. Maximum zero fuel weight is 46.3 tons here. With on the 46.3 tons, the center of gravity is at 25% Mach. So the Mach is MAC, which is the mean aerodynamic chord. So there you go, we put that in there, that's all done, good to go. Now look at the performance page. Now depending on your takeoff weight, obviously your percentage Mach, the mean aerodynamic chord, will also change. So therefore, what Airbus has nicely done is that on the side of the throttle, near the trim, they add the percentage of Mach, so therefore you can adjust your trim accordingly. So first and foremost, obviously you put the flaps in this conf. I'm just showing a demonstration. I'm going to do the proper thing when I do my actual flying on the sim, of course, and then in the future in real world. Okay, so obviously we're going to put the flaps 1 and we're going to use up trim set to 0.8. Now we're going to use a flex temp for about 55 degrees Celsius. Actually the flex start, obviously this is not an accurate data, I just made it up just for demonstration. However, if you do get the performance calculator for the Airbus, you can then find the actual flex temps, as well as the flaps and trim settings and your V-speeds too. So yeah, and literally just input your V-speeds from there, and that's it. We're good to go. Now flight plan. This is what the flight plan looks like for the FMC. Obviously, yeah, it's just for show and tell purposes. So we'll literally just demonstrate one thing. Okay. So from looking at the departure page, now we're going runway 06 today, departure, and we will be taking the, let's find it, the Yankee Alpha Alpha to Whiskey, so we'll be flying over AVOR, practically speaking, and then obviously there will be a amber star on insert. Press insert, And obviously now you can see on the FMC, zoom out, you can see on the FMC that the flight plan for the initial departure SID is being loaded up. Now if I go to a plan mode, we can just lower it down here. If you can see the plan mode, now with the arrow keys here, we can literally transition and see where this flight path is taking us, which is good and it's cool. That's how the pilots normally do when they check the flight plan from the FMC, just to check for any discrepancies as well. Obviously, I'm also a real world pilot. I'm a student pilot, but soon to be, hopefully, to be getting my ATPLs. And this is a YouTube tutorial just to demonstrate how the Airbus A320 works. And I would like to say thank you for listening, thank you for being part of my YouTube video. Please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be looking forward to doing more of these tutorials soon. The next tutorial, I'm going to be doing the takeoff, basically, the takeoff performances, looking at FMC routing, and how to get the best climb performance for this aircraft, hopefully. Alright boys and girls, it was a pleasure. Pilot Cam out.